Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 2, gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 2, gang, y'all, let's get it. Like, share, subscribe, y'all, let's get it. Let's go. Man, that jump was crazy, man. The dude BB was like, alright, I got you. His voice was kind of deep and raspy. I'm like, BB, I'm like, man, this jump crazy, man. I'm like, this jump wild, man. So I go up the steps, and I just, you know what I mean? I was going down there to see what was going on, like just scoping the part out, basically, man. I walked back up the steps, because I got the railing jank by myself, so I just went by the jump. I just stood on the jump. My roommate come out the cell. He was like, shh, jump crazy in it, bro. I'm like, man, listen, man, they got too many boys in this jank, man. I said, this jump crazy, man. They gotta get me up out of here, man. He was like, man, they ain't doing no moves right now. He was like, you gotta wait. I'm like, bro, listen, man, how you doing it? He was like, cause I'm waiting to move. I'm like, man, this jump out of control, bro. I'm looking like look at all these dudes. Like, it's massive boys. That jump was crazy, man. That jump was wild, man. I'm like, yo, then they got dude right there with the fake eyebrows. He was like, who you talking about, BB? I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, BB? I was like, man, that's crazy, man. He was like, yeah, that's BB from such and such. So when he said the city, you know what I mean? When he said the city, I'm like, from where? He was like, from such and such. I'm like, you know, I wasn't even, you know what I mean, trying to think that too much into it like that then, you know what I mean? I'm like, BB from such and such. But I knew bro was from, you know what I mean, from that same place. And he told me that his stepdad name was B. Now, I won't put two and two together like that. I couldn't. It was nothing I can do like that. But still, though, it was just crazy, man. So I'm like, man, it's wild. So after a little time went on, man, like I'm in the joint now probably like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to just stay out everybody way, mind my business, man. I already know I'm in a freaking the flamboyantest part on the compound. Everybody shake, rattling, and rolling, man. My word, man, that jump was crazy in there. So I'm like, I just got to deal with this jump, man. You know what I mean? So after about 2 weeks, man, I kind of got, you know, situated, man. I started seeing how I had to bid. I already had went and hollered at the dude that worked for the counselor. Now, the dude that worked for the counselor, he so happened to be a boy. Pause. But I had to go talk to him because he worked for the counselor. Now, I knew him from Sussex 2. I knew him from playing his pool on Sussex 2. Like, he was one of them boys that was a little old, you know what I mean? I've been around the block, pause, you know what I mean? So I knew him. I knew him like I knew who he was. Like, I would play his pool. Never had conversation with him. It was too crazy, but he knew who I was too. So when I hollered at him, he was like, yo, I'm trying to pay him. I'm trying to pay him to move. But when I hollered at him, he told me, won't nothing jumping outside. Is it like going from this yard to the other side of the yard? Won't nothing jumping. So I'm like, man, how long I gotta wait? He was like, you don't know. It ain't gonna be too long though. So I'm like, man, this jump crazy. So it was like I was stuck. It was like I was stuck over that jump, man. Cause it was like, I felt like, man, I don't want to risk leaving my room. My roommate was the best thing about being over there. He was cool. He had his own stuff on TV. We used to make meals. Me and him was cool. He didn't shake, rattle, and roll. Now, if I'd be like, move me to another building, I didn't know nobody else in none of the buildings. So I never wanted to go to another building. I just wanted to get to 30 buildings. So I'm like, man, this jump, man. That's how my attitude was over the jump, man. So as time went on, I started seeing that the dude, BB, he became the basketball coach. And I didn't know how he became the basketball coach. But like I say, he was a different type of boy. He definitely was in the cell with this old head, man, from the I ain't gonna lie to you. He definitely was in the cell with his old head from the And like, he definitely was a boy, like, because of the eyebrows and the way he looked. But the way he carried himself was still manly. And that's the weird part about this whole thing. You know what I mean? So when I was asking dudes, because I'm the type of dude, I'm like, yo, I know I can go holler at hot rodding them from the other side of the yard, you know what I mean? But if I gotta get in the gym, there's just certain things I gotta do. I gotta learn how to move around. So I'm definitely trying to get on the list of the basketball team. So dudes were like, I was like, yo, somebody went and put the list, because they'll put the list of who want to be on the basketball team on the bulletin board. We had a bulletin board in that joint, so they'll hang it up on the bulletin board. Dudes will come up there, sign their name. That's how I usually go. So when I seen the gym, when I seen the basketball team list up there, I walked up there instantly. I'm like, man, I'm getting on the team. So I'm like, yo, I'm trying to be the assistant coach. I'll keep the score. I'll be the scorekeeper because they always have somebody that will write down like the points people being scoring, the rebounds and assists. Like it's just getting out the gym. I mean, getting out the pod, going to the gym. That's all it is. So I'm like, man, I'll be the assistant coach or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, who the coach? So I looked at the light skinned dude that be doing laundry. I'm like, yo, who the coach, bro? He like, BB the coach. I'm like, BB? He was like, yeah, BB upstairs right there, the tall dude. I'm like, we talking about with the Grace Jones eyebrows, man? He was like, go ahead with that jump, man. I'm like, man, he the coach, man. He was like, yeah. I'm like, what he can hoop or something, man? Fake Lisa Leslie in the face looking. I was like, man, that's crazy, man. I was like, man, bro, listen, man. I was like, man, I'm good, man. He was like, you trying to go to the gym, then you put your name on the list, you gotta holler at him. I'm like, I gotta holler at him? I'm like, man, I ain't hollering at him, man. I ain't got time to be hollering at him about nothing. You know what I mean? I was like, for real. He was like, nah, bro, listen, if you straight, you ain't got to worry. I'm straight. I'll talk to them when I have to. He was like, I'm gonna be kicking it with him like that. But if you trying to go to the gym, he was like, cause I'm going to the gym. You trying to go to the gym, just put your name on the list and go holler at him. I was like, I ain't gonna go holler at him. I'm gonna put my name on the list and I'm just catching on the rebound. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, whatever you want to do. So he walked away. So as we stand like all by the bulletin board, I turned around, I looked, I seen him coming down the steps looking like a freaking African warrior off. He was like, came down the steps like this. He was like, he used to walk super stiff. He was like, I was like, I said, yo, BB. He was like, how you doing? I was like, look, I'm trying to get on the list if I can go to the gym, holler at my homeboys in 30 building. You know what I mean? They told me I had to holler at you. He was like, you ain't trying to play? I was like, nah, I ain't trying to play. Nah, I ain't trying to play. Like, I'm just, you know what I mean? Just trying to go down there and just jeff around, man. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to do. He was like, well, I usually just put players on the team that's trying to play. His eyebrow went up like this. All you see that John was like, do you know what the Rock is cooking? Like when he was talking, he was like, all I do is talk dudes up there that just come up there and try to play. His eyebrow like this. That John one went up. I'm like, do you smell what the Rock is cooking? Eyebrow looking. I'm like, man, this John crazy, man. I'm like, man, yeah, I'm just trying to go see my home. He was like, what camp you just came from? I was like, I just came from Sussex 2. He said, how long you been on Sussex 2? I said, I've been on Sussex 2 since it opened up in 2002. That's how long I've been up there till now. He was like, nah, you might don't know. You might don't know him. I said, might not know who. He was like, my stepson, Victor. I was like, Victor, your stepson? He was like, yeah, I ain't seen him in a while though. So he don't know that I'm like this. I'm like, I said, man, listen, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I said, I rock with Victor. I said, I just was in a pod with Victor. I said, his annual review is this month. So I said, he should be getting ready to leave. I said, because he going up this month. He was like, yeah, his mom told me, my sister still be in contact with his mom. So, yeah, he do probably might make it up here, man. But, yeah, he gonna be in for a rude awakening, though. I'm like, rude awakening? I'm like, man, so what's up with the gym? Like, I just go and get that conversation over with. He was like, oh, yeah, you can go. I was like, all right, so everything was straight with that. But when I went up the steps and went in the cell, I couldn't believe it, y'all. I'm like, hold on, man. This dude, Victor Step Pops, is a boy. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy, man. I did the Home Alone jank, y'all, so boom. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I was like, yo, say word, Victor Step Pops, a boy. My roommate was like, what? I was like, nah, you don't know him, bro. He was like, what? I said, bro, listen, the dude, BB. I said, man, it's a dude on Sussex 2 I was with that's about to get transferred up here. I said, man, he told me his step pops was up here. You know what I mean? His step pops name was B, not BB. I said, dude named BB. I said, he just asked me, did I know his stepson, which is the dude Victor? He was like, man, get out of here, man. I said, bro, listen, man. He was like, man, BB been a boy since I've been up here, man. He said, I've been up here 2.5 years. BB been a boy the whole time. I'm like, and bro don't know that his people's a boy, man. I said, bro don't know that. He was like, man, that's John crazy. I said, man, wow. I said, yo, it's crazy how life works. But like I was telling y'all, like, these are the things you go through when you come to prison, man. You see all the underground maniac stuff. Like, this is underground maniac stuff. This is something that Victor's not even thinking about. This is not even crossing Victor's mind that his step pops is a boy. You know what I mean? But it's a fact. It's a fact that he's a boy. He's in a cell with a dude, a little short dude from the R. He's taller than the dude, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what's going on in that joint? They probably switching and pancaking, y'all, so boom. I don't know who's the man. I don't know who's the shake, rattle, and roller. I don't know who's getting shake, rattle, and roll on. I don't care. All I know is when Victor come up here, it's gonna throw him off. It's gonna throw him off, man. So I ain't gonna lie, like that joke was funny at first to me. Y'all already know how I be joking. I'm sorry, it was funny at first, man, because that was a major coincidence. Because if I wasn't trying to put my name on that basketball list, I would have never had a conversation with him. Because it was like 5 other boys that was in there. The only other person I had conversations with was a boy that the one that was on Sussex 2 with, the one that be making the moves. And then I ended up talking to him. But other than that, it was like everybody else was booed up in their own world. Like you never even ran across their path. That was the other good part of that pod, even though it was San Francisco out. It was like everybody mind their business. It wasn't no disrespect. And then like the boy pulling up on you, disrespecting you. No, every boy in there had a boo thing, man. Which that sound crazy, man. You know what I mean? So like, that's what was going on though, man. So like, I'll say like another month and a half went by, like a little minute went by. And I just started to be able to just, you know, like just stay in the cell a lot, man, like chill. I used to stay upstairs kicking with the laundry dude, you know, because he was right by my cell. So I just used to be up there chilling, man. You know what I mean? They got me on standby. I can't move, nothing like that, man. Everybody I rock with, every time they see me, they joke. They're like, man, that's crazy, Weezy. I'm like, shh, I'm getting over there, man. I'm telling you, I'm coming over there, man. So I just had to deal with what was going on. You know what I mean? Like seeing BB in there, that became normal. Like that became normal, seeing the dude with the draw on eyebrows and like, you know, being like how he was. That was normal in that joint, man. But like, it was just a different situation, man. So like, I never really seen like BB like upset, get angry, or nothing like that, man. Till I seen him get into it with his roommate before, man. It was like almost all of them, everybody that was in there shake, rattling, and rolling. Like, I got a story for every last one of them because all of them had domestic disputes going on in that jump. I'm not gonna hold y'all, man. Like, it be like a whole domestic joint. Like, the police gotta come, everything. Like, you know, a dude be like, you live somewhere, you hit the dude next door fighting this girl, getting it. Man, listen, it's the same thing going on in there, man, with the shake, rattling, and rollers, but I promise you, man. Now, the old dude was super funny. The old dude was a short dude, wore the glasses. He had like a gray and black fade, but it wasn't faded. He didn't have a Boosie ball fade. It was just like his joint was hair on the side, like a decent amount of hair that was gray and black. Then it came up to like a little small box. So he had like a little box, and he was just like a short dude, you know what I mean? And I knew he was from the but he was in the cell with the dude BB. Man, I don't know what did happen at lockdown. You know what I mean? All I know is BB came out the cell with a robe on, and I never seen him with a robe, but like where they cell is at, the showers is right there. Nobody really goes to those top showers too crazy. Everybody always come down because the bottom showers got a little bit more light. It's just the other ones on top is just dungeons. I'm talking like dungeons. So I look up, I just see BB scream. I just see BB coming out the door. We just came out. He just came out the door. He went down the steps like this. He had the robe on. He was like, "You better fix my TV. Don't let my TV be working by the time I get out this shower. You better fix my TV." Old head came out, was like, "Man, I ain't fixing nothing." "Yeah, you heard what I said. I ain't fixing nothing, shout." "Yeah, you heard. I ain't fixing nothing." BB was like, all right. He got in the shower, so everybody looking like, crazy. Man took a shower. He get out the shower. That man stormed up the steps like this. He was skipping steps. He was like, he went up the steps like a maniac, y'all. So boom. He get in his cell. As soon as he went in the cell, all you heard was like somebody fell. I was like, so they that back wall cell that's next to the handicap. They in that joint. Man, I'm like, where we hit a tussling in the joint? We like, then you hear all his, all right, man, BB, all right, BB, come on. All right, BB, you got it, man. You gonna fix my TV? He's like, all right, I'm gonna fix it, man. I'm gonna get the dude to fix it. All right, just get off me, man. And that joint stopped. Everybody was like, BB always beating his ass, man. I was like, BB be beating the dude up? He's like, yeah. I'm like, man, I'm like, yo, get out of here. Get out of here, man. This is my word. Probably about 30 minutes later. 30 minutes later, man, you see BB emerge. She come out. He's standing out by the pod. You see the other boys come holler at him. He over there, John, like he telling them what's going on. He like, all you see is that bald head and my eyebrows. He like, he looking like Mumra in the face, y'all. So boom. It was hit. I ain't gonna lie, man. It was hit, man. That's my word. It was hit. I'm looking at him like, yo, this joke crazy. So they talking. About 5 minutes after that, you see his roommate come down and jump like this. His roommate like this. He got a 13-inch TV. We had a 13-inch bubbles. He got the 13-inch bubble in the laundry bag. He like this. He come down the steps. He like, the white dude be fixing stuff right there. He was like, he go this shit. He like, took the TV in that jump. This is my word, man. That man made sure he fixed that TV, y'all. So boom. I don't blame him though, man. Cause BB That dude was almost taller than LA Dante. Like that, it was a tall giant, man. He was a boy. That joint was crazy, man. Like, but I guess he didn't want no beef with his roommate like that, man. You know what I mean? Even though he was rocking with him, so he took that TV down there to get fixed. Man. That joint was crazy, man. So I can remember a little time after that. You know what I mean? I go to Child. When I go to Child, I come back. Dudes were like, yo, they got some intakes that's about to get ready to come over in this building. So I was like, where you going at? Somebody had just told me I want no room in the pod, you know what I mean? Because our whole pod was full. So I was like, where they going at? He was like, oh no, somewhere in the building, but it's some new intakes. I'm like, all right. So I ain't paying no attention until they brought all the intakes in the building, you know what I mean? So I'm standing on the top tier. Usually when intakes come in, you'll see people from our pod run to the door. Not run, the dudes will go to the door and just be looking out the door. Now, they was doing that because usually our door open, the other door open, the other pod door open, and you'll be able to see clearly out in the hallway who the other inmates are. But we wasn't getting anybody, so our door wasn't opening. So I see everybody walk to the front sliding door window and just be looking, everybody was just looking. I'm like, that's the new intakes. They were like, yeah, it's like 4 of them too. It's like 4, I'm like, 4 of them for real. So I went on and came down the steps. I'm like, shh. Came down the steps. I'm like, man, for real, man. I was like, let me see who came up here for Sussex too, man. You know what I mean? I promise y'all, like, my mind wasn't even thinking about Victor. Like, I almost forgot about that, to be honest with you. I was just so used to BB being who he is, I almost forgot about Victor. That's my word. So I come in John, I'm like, I'm looking, I see a couple of dudes, like, get ready to go in the 2-pod, and I see a dudes talking to the dudes in the 3-pod. So the CO telling them to come on. So I'm looking, I'm like, they backs to me, you know what I mean? So I'm like, just looking, I see dude turn around, I was like, it was Victor. I was like, oh, I was like, yo. I was like, what's up, bro? What's good? He was like, oh, Weezy, what's good? What's up? You over here? I was like, yeah, man. I said, man, I was on the other side. They just moved me over here. I'm still not thinking about the dude BB. I'm like, yeah, bro. I was like, man, that's what's up, bro. I said, bro, you got up here quick. He was like, bro, they shipped me a month right after I went up. I was like, man, you lucky, man. He was like, man, such and such went to 40 building. That was in the block with us too. I was like, oh, all right, bet. I was like, yeah, man, everybody on the other side, man. I was like, man, I'm trying to get out of this junk, man. I was like, man, this junk crazy, man. He was like, yeah, they said they just move us down here because there won't no space nowhere else. I was like, man, this junk, I was like, it's decent, bro, but it's just, you know what I mean? He was like, it's Lala in this junk. I was like, yeah, it's Lala in this junk. He was like, you back messing with the Lala? I said, bro, you know I'm back messing with the Lala, bro. I said, it's Lala land, though, all over the whole compound. I'm letting you know now, this junk be jumping. He was like, man, that's all I wanted to hear, though, man. He was like, that's what's up, though, man. I'm like, yeah, man. That junk crazy, man. I was like, look, man, holla at me when we go to Child, man, because soon was getting ready to go to dinner. I was like, man, holla at me when we go to dinner, man. He was like, all right, bet. So I wasn't even thinking about the junk, you know what I mean? So I go up the steps, feeling good, like, man, they done brought Victor up this junk. I was like, yo, these dudes be talking all this basketball stuff. I was like, man, wait till they see Victor. You know what I mean? Victor definitely can hoop. So I went upstairs just feeling good, like, man, they brought Victor up here, man, junk, wow. But I promise you, it slipped in my mind that his step pops is in the jank. Like, I promise you, like, I had forgot about the junk. I get up the steps, man. Lady said, stand by for Child. My roommate come out. He was like, man, you going to Child? I was like, yeah. I said, man, he just moved my homeboy Victor up here. He was like, Victor, where you from? I told him where he was from. He was like, no, I don't know him. And I started thinking, I'm like, oh, nah. I was like, nah, you don't know him. I said, yeah, he was on Sussex too with her. I said, oh. He was like, what? I said, yo. I said, bro. I said, man, look, that's the dude who BB, that's BB's stepson. He was like, man, get out of there. I said, bro, that's my word, bro. I said, look, they put him over in 62 pod. He was like, man, he don't know BBO. I said, nah, I forgot to tell him. Because I wasn't even thinking about that shit, bro. I ain't thinking about that shit like that, bro. I forgot all about that. He was like, man, you gotta tell him though, man. He said, you gonna tell BB? I said, nah, I ain't saying shit to BB. I said, I'm gonna go holler at bro first, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go holler at bro first, man. I'm gonna give him, you know what I mean? Because the dude, BB never went to Child either. He never went to Child. Only thing he would do is go outside in the morning times. That's it. He would never go to Child or nothing. He'll be booed up the whole day. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna holler at bro myself, man. I was like, nah, that's crazy, man. He was like, yo. He was in cell. I was like, yo. He was weak. I was like, yo, I gotta holler at him, man. So the lady said, exit out for Child. So 62 part when they ain't coming out yet. They sometimes they'll do 3, 2, 1. And that's how the Child order will be. Or sometimes they might do 1, 2, 3. Or they might do 2, 1, 3. They'll switch it up all the time. But this time they let us go first, then it's 2 going next. So I went on and came out. But I saw that we was first. So I was like, man, I'm late. You know what I mean? So I just laid up under the joint. They got little squares. Like, because the booth is up there when you're in the salad port down the joint with the barber shop and all that stuff, council office. They got like little squares upstairs in the booth where the lady in the booth could actually look down and see what's going on down under her. You know what I mean? But if you hide the right way, she ain't gonna be able to see you. So I just ducked off, let it in real nice. So 62 pod come out, 62 pod came out. I'm walking. I'm like, I start walking now because I just didn't want to just stay right there. So I start walking. So I seen they park going, they park dip. Everybody that's in the top 5, they trying to run to the child house. So I slow down. I'm like, what bro at, man? I slow down, I see him. I'm like, man, he ain't coming to the child, man. I was like, man, what the heck? So I walk back in the building. I squeeze through everybody. I get back in the building. I looked up. I said, bro, he was in the pod just sitting there. I said, bro, you ain't going to eat? He was like, man, we already ate before we came. I said, man, you can come eat again, bro. Come on, bro. He was like, you sure? I was like, man, come on, man. He was like, all right, he jumped off the table. He started coming towards me. So when he came towards me, I'm standing by the door. The lady closed the door. I catch the door. I'm like, come on, bro, hurry up. So he squeezed through the door. I'm like, come on, bro. I gotta holler at you anyway. He was like, what's up? I was like, man, look, bro. I said, man, I gotta tell you something about your stepdaddy, bro. He was like, who my stepdaddy? Where he at? What building he in? He was like, I'm thinking he in 40 building because I ain't seen him the whole time. I was on the window when they was going to child for lunch. He was like, I ain't see him the whole time. So he was like, he got to be on this side somewhere. I said, yo, bro, listen. He in the pod with me, man. He was like, he over there with you? I'm like, yeah, man. I said, man, look, man. As I was saying that, it was like our slider just opened. And I looked up, it was 3 boys. 2 of them were standing up, 1 was sitting on the joint, but they were looking at the TV, but the TV is facing where the door is at, so they can see out in the salad port where we at. So we like right there. I'm like, yo, bro, man. I said, yo, man, they don't even call your stepdad B, bro. He was like, what? I said, man, they call him BB, bro. Then that's when the door opened up. I said, bro, he right there. He was like, where? He looked. He was like, where? I was like, yo, the dude. He was like, I was like, what the fuck?
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart just to open your eyes up.